Hi, hello, welcome to That Sounds Gay. My name is Jer, and our gay sound presented by Jesse today is...
Oh.
Oh, that was like very 80s camp.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was happening today.
Really taken by surprise. Nothing's gayer than being caught off guard.
I agree. When you find out that it's way bigger than you thought it was going to be. What do I do with all this? We are still talking about Drag Race All-Stars 7. We are in part 2 this week. Last time we talked about some legendary legend queens, their legendary legend looks. I don't think we said legendary legend stars at all last week, so I have to get it all out of my system now. A legendary legend snatch game, a legendary legend Wheel of Fortune ball, and then we also gave out some stars for our winners of each challenge, which you've been kind of in line with this show.
Yeah, I've been pretty judicial. I still feel weird about not giving Jada a badge in episode 3, and that's sitting heavy on my heart.
Is it?
Yeah, but I'll get over it.
I feel like this episode you'll give out a couple to Jada. I can feel it. I don't know why. I feel it this week.
I feel that for me and for my love of Jada.
I do love me some Jada Essence motherfucking Hall.
Just like diarrhea, we've exploded in love.
I can't wait to talk about that. So we're going to jump straight on into this, starting with episode 5. We're covering the next 4 episodes today. So we've got Draguation speeches. Who is the target demographic for this challenge? The Draguates around the world. But which Draguates? Drag you?
Okay.
Was this a promo and they were like not bringing it back?
Do you know what I feel this could have been?
Tell me.
With better guidance, this should have been a valedictorian speech to the pandemic graduates.
That would have been cute.
And it's like, because queens go and make valedictorian speeches like all over.
Yeah.
Is it valedictorian? Well, not valedictorian speech. They do guest speak.
Yeah,
what's
like a
that role
ceremonial
called?
Thing.
Because valedictorian's the girlie with the best grades or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's the
like a master.
They
of
do
ceremonies.
it's called something. Not the keynote. Is it the keynote?
A TED Talk.
What's a keynote?
What is a keynote?
They unlock the keyhole to the graduation. But anyways, they usually have those guest speakers. Sometimes they're awful.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're drag queens. I feel like obviously drag you, whatever, but no one. If you're gonna push drag you so much, make all the episodes available.
I agree.
I need to get
I need
to
this
watch
drag
all
you.
of drag you. But I
Keynote
think,
is a type of speech that outlines the main theme of an event or conference.
Love that. So I feel like it would have been cuter if it was like, give a speech to these queer kids who have graduated in the pandemic and are now facing this new world. Like, what advice would you give them?
That's a cute idea.
Yeah, because I feel like, jumping ahead, to me, the most successful were the ones who mixed humor with like genuine like advice or like guidance.
Yeah.
Without going too hard in either direction.
I would agree. So just early stories for what's happening in this one is Raja and Evie don't have stars yet, which is kind of a crime that Raja doesn't because I gave her 2 already.
Me too as well.
So, I mean, I think she's already doing well. Evie, I've given 1 star to because I thought she did great in episode 1. I really fucked with Evie. I did. And then Monet is continuing to play along with this plunger bit. No one has dissented yet from the bit yet. And I'm actually kind of surprised that no one has been like, so wait, I thought y'all said something was going on.
Right.
It doesn't happen until Raja, like almost at the end game. I think near the last 4 episodes.
Hilarious.
So I do want to say that Viv makes a critical error in this episode by saying that she wanted to block Jinx, but Jinx was not available for blocking and makes a critical mistake at this point by talking about that.
Yeah, I feel like we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to bring that
No.
to.
Girl, don't joke about that. I just can't believe she even said it. I would have like kept my mouth shut.
It's one of those moments where it's almost like she forgot she was in the game. It's like, was she geeking? Was she just trying to like have something to talk about? Because I was like, no, that is not the thing to say.
No, not at all. I want to ask a kind of like interesting question here though. Before we go into the next piece of this. So in like some alternate universe where Davina won her season, because Viv's the only non-US girl here.
Yeah.
How do you think that Davina would have fared in this bunch?
Red wig and a silver
Silver dress, I don't think. Because like I think she would have done so well in everything up until now.
Yeah, I think her biggest struggle would have just been having fun.
Yeah, totally.
Honestly.
Yeah. I was thinking about it as I was note taking. I'm like, I wonder. Because like Viv is really the only like big standout here because she's not one of the mainline girls. So I was like, I wonder what would have happened.
Yeah.
I was curious about your thoughts on that. So yeah, they do the challenge. I skipped the prep phase because it's just so inconsequential to me. What did you think about all of these Draguation speeches? Did you have anyone that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Part of me.
I do agree with the top two, but I also think that the Viv could have easily been up there with them because I thought she was also really good. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's almost like you're seeing them like MC or something. I like them all so much that I find something charming in like all of their speeches.
Yeah.
Because even like if like maybe not all of Jada's or like Evie's were like perfectly flawless, like just in the sense that it's harder because it's not even that theirs were worse, but it's like you have people like Jinx who are so clearly like comfortable in front of the mic.
Totally.
That they can like elevate just like what they've written down to a different caliber. And like she was performing it. I mean, even like Monet was kind of performing hers.
I love that Jinx was like, I think it's clear that I was meant to be somewhere else. Let's see if any of these work. Double, nope. Hecate. No.
And that's what I'm saying is like, it was like, she had the funny beats, but then she also like, but then it allowed her to like be genuine in her own little Jinx way and give advice when the time came.
I was hit by a fucking car.
Also,
so
like,
crazy.
So anecdotal. It honestly kind of felt like a crazy, like, minus the witchcraft. It did kind of feel like a crazy speech that someone would give.
Yeah.
Because usually at the graduation, it doesn't have much to do with school. But it does have things to do with stuff like getting hit by cars. So loved that.
It is funny that both the top two were being like very astral and witchy, with Jinx talking about all of this like witchy stuff at the beginning, and then Raja dressed like she is at a magical academy and is like, I'm aware of your presence.
I love it. I mean, boring, but they are my two favorites. I think. Just because I love them both kind of going for that left of center, like, I'm not the star student, so I'm going to be. And it's also funny for Raja because going into the next episode where she's also like a rebellious student.
Totally.
Or is that in 2 episodes?
It's in a couple, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's in a couple. Next week is girl groups, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Raja gives some of the best advice, which is always be kind to people with money. I think that's
she gave
brilliant.
Like real world advice. She gave auntie advice. Some of them tried to give like, what would you say to like 3-year-old you advice?
Oh, the emotional.
But like Raja gave like auntie advice.
I also really, I loved the intuitions. No, institutions spells intuitions. If you're dyslexic, I'm like, everything spells something else.
Anyone
when you're
could
dyslexic.
take that.
Yeah, that's
do
brilliant.
Something with it.
That's absolutely brilliant.
That's great building blocks to success.
I love both of them, but I do have to say I really loved Evie. The starting out with tripping and then picking up the cards and talking about how she had to fail to learn how to grow. I'm like, that's also really smart world advice. And I can never tell with Drag Race when they do these like heart and soul challenges.
Yeah.
How much do they actually want you to be earnest and genuine? And how much do they want you to just act a fool and be silly? Because like I think about the CUNT monologues,
Yeah.
where Kylie had this beautiful, encouraging, groundbreaking story, but then Eureka went talking about shit,
Girl, I'll shit myself.
And then
Yeah.
this.
No, I appreciated Evie's approach. I think it worked in her favor because like also she's kind of an underdog so far in the season. So like playing is like kind of like not fully like has it all together, and it kind of like leaned into like the awkward beats of it and the pauses, the silences as she worked through it because it kind of all felt intentional and part of the character in a way. I think she did synthesize it in a really fun way.
Cynthia
and
Kiss synthesize.
Get ready to synthesize. And also it's very Evie because I mean,
totally.
I feel like the struggle of like, how do you give advice that's not eat a baby? You know, like I feel like she wants to be punk. So
Yeah.
I feel like embracing failure is the next best thing.
Yeah. And I think it was very on brand for her. And it's just a nice reminder to people who are listening who do want that earnesty.
Yeah.
And going to what I said, I feel like back in the old days, like up until like season 6 or 7, Rue was always talking about how you have to get people to like you, how you have to be earnest and real and show vulnerability. And then that went out the door like in the double-digit seasons. I feel like Rue did not care about earnesty anymore post like season 9.
And now kind of like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah. Oh my God, you shit yourself. Hilarious. You win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our runway category is Veiled It.
Veiled It.
Did you have standouts before we give out our stars? This is going to be our final nail in the coffin.
Oh, I didn't even think about, I know. Oh, that might help me decide.
For me, it's Raja. I mean, this Vogue cover is everything. Because she says, I believe, that veil means a different word, and that's where her brain went.
Yeah.
Veil means something else in French, right?
It does, voile, and I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember
also fabric,
either.
which I think she's using voile fabric as well. It's made of voile.
And you know who's in the color they said they don't do? The Viv is in blue again. Very new blue. For Lana.
It's giving. She's a lollipop. It's giving a lot of things, but I actually quite like it. My favorites, honestly, my number one is probably Shay's.
Shay's is so cute.
Something about Shay's is so fun and cunty to me because I also love in last All Stars her like gardener look, that like blue watering can look.
For camo.
Yeah, I think these like little like things she does where it's like a take on like a sophisticated woman. I love it. I love the layering. I love the color palette. Yeah. I love the fun veil. So she's up there. Jada is up there. I love the drama of Jada. And then also I kind of do, the hippie in me just really loves Evie's.
I was going to say Evie's my other favorite.
Evie's also, I love this because it feels like a very elevated progression of her season 11 package.
Yes,
because this feels like something she would have had on 11, but just like magnified and like
absolutely
expensivized.
That's why I like this too. She proportionized. I love how it's this handkerchief silhouette, but it's elongated because you don't normally see it that at that length. The veil is really nice with the beads on it. The stonework is impeccable. She just looks expensive here. Like what season 11 Evie would look like with a bigger budget. And I think what we talked about last week was a lot of these queens came in with something to prove. I think Evie came in needing to prove to fans that she wasn't just a mess, but she like kind of leaned into that in a lot of ways, but then still glamorized her package even more. That like, come on, glamorized. She like just made it that much better. And this is such a refreshing moment to the rest of her package this season where she kind of just leans into this like weirdo freak thing.
Yeah.
And I love this. It's so pretty. So pretty. Okay. Give out your stars. I'll let you go first this week.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little more boring again. You
Mm-hmm.
really almost convinced me to give one to Evie this week, though.
Uh-huh.
Like, again,
I
I
almost did it. I was close.
I feel like Evie deserves like an honorable mention this
Sure.
week. And then also like I really think Viv could have easily been in the top this week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ah, wait, okay, I need to think for a minute.
Then I'll go first.
Yeah, you
Because
go.
I'm going based off of the challenge and the runway. Obviously, it's got to go to Raja for me. I think there's like no other doubt in my mind that it's got to be Raja. And I really do love Jinx, but I did not love her runway at all. I don't respond to it in any way, shape, or form. I'm giving my other one to Evie. I'm giving it to Miss Evelyn
Period.
because I mean that look is just so luxe. It it reminds me of her knit look. Do you remember that knit caftan that she did? Like it's just that I
Yes.
don't know. It's this really what is like this global look that is just so fascinating and filtered through her lens of fashion meets grandiosity and these big colors that shouldn't really work, but it somehow does because the way she styled it and paired it. And then the way that she's got that Tiffany blue nail polish
Yeah.
that just punches up the richness of this. I'm so into it. She
Okay,
won me on the
period.
runway. And then on top of it, her Draguation speech was so beautiful about learning to fail before you can grow. I think that is something that anybody can learn from. And
Yeah.
that's the vulnerability that the judges are looking for.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Damn. Well, my first one, 3 weeks in a row.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, no, she took a week off last week.
She can't slay
Almost
every
3
week.
weeks in a row. Raja
Mhm.
getting her third bidge. Raja's was my favorite.
Mhm.
It's hard because I love Jinx's, but Jinx's is in a very similar beat to Raja's.
Mhm.
If I wanted to go in a different route, I had mentioned that I really love Viv's.
Yeah.
And spoilers, she's not going to win next week for me.
Okay.
So I'm like, do I want to give her a badge right now? Because I know the trajectory is different for her.
Mhm.
And I'm like, maybe this is her week more than next week is for her in my mind.
In my mind.
In my mind. You also did a great job. Okay. That's so interesting. What you just did.
What?
It's like that time I fell asleep and then I woke up with a completely different opinion.
So backstage tea during the Holland 2 recording, the very like last episode when we were talking about the Maiden Holland outfit, I was shit talking this ugly creature that what was her name? Starts with a V, doesn't it?
Vivaldi.
Not Vivaldi. Vanessa Van Cartier. She was wearing this like ugly plushy character,
yes.
and I was shit talking it, and Jess fell asleep, and I was just talking, vamping to try and like hope that they would wake up, and they woke up and were like,
hoping they would wake up.
I was because I didn't want to be like,
forget
hey, Gal.
recording.
Yeah, and they woke up because it was like late at night
Yeah.
that we were recording that episode because we waited till everyone went to sleep in the house to record.
Yeah.
And they like fell asleep and they woke up and they were like, actually, I hate this. I totally incepted their brain.
Actually,
Did I do
no.
it too?
So, okay, because do you know what I'm looking at?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at my empty column for Evie, and I'm thinking of this storyline of she hasn't gotten a badge yet.
Yeah.
And then she embraces her failures, gives a speech about failing and how, and I feel like that's very also in line with losing is the new winning.
Totally.
So
Vegas Live.
You've convinced me. So I feel like for her storyline,
Cariño.
Cariño, I feel like it would be very appropriate actually for her this week. And then also that means we don't have to see Jinx and Raja do Better in Color by Lizzo. That means we get to see Evie do Better in Color, and she would win the plunger this week.
Can I say something controversial? Maybe it's not controversial. I think that they should have swapped around songs. The moment that week one happened and they saw it was Shay and Monet, they
Yeah.
should have given them Better in Color by Lizzo. And then they should have waited and held on to Old McDonald. Because could you imagine if they had maybe held on to that and then waited till Jinx was in the top and then gave her this? Jinx and
Wow.
Raja to Old McDonald would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah.
In my humblest opinions. It was a wild lip sync. My favorite was Viv's bored face and then the reserved clapping at the end where they're all like,
Yeah. See, it's so funny because it's like obviously Viv wouldn't have been great up there either,
No.
but I think Evie actually would have been a really fun because Better in Color, like beyond just like not having like a white girl do it.
mm-hmm.
I think it would be fun because she's probably the most colorful one in that group.
Right.
And I can see her like doing like cartwheels, backflips, whatever,
Yeah.
like bringing color to the performance.
It would have been so fun. Jinx does win that lip sync and chooses to block Viv, which I think I understand because like there's this feud going on.
Yeah.
But strategically, I mean, I think I would have picked Trinity personally. I mean, I know Viv's in the top next week.
No,
but
it makes sense.
I would have totally picked Trinity.
It also definitely is like, would she have blocked her if she had not said what she said?
I don't think she would have said a word about it. Or I don't think she would have ever blocked her. She hadn't said a word.
Especially because it was like, she said what she said, and then she did really good this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she like was probably looking at her like, she's gunning for me, and she can fulfill a similar channel.
Yeah.
Into like in the booger's eye. I don't know if she's thinking that. But
The
like,
booger?
in the booger's eye. Beauty is in the eye of the booger.
Raja's new memoir. So we move into episode 6, Total Rue Quest Live. We're at the midpoint of the season.
What is that? What is that? Request.
Total Request, I guess.
Is that a girl? Did I forget what they're referencing already?
I think it's a 90s
It's
thing.
a 90s girl group, huh? Or is it a 90s show?
Total Request Live, according to Wikipedia, commonly abbreviated as TLR, is an American television program that premiered on MTV.
Oh, with Carson Daly.
Yeah, it was for teens. And they played the 10 most requested music videos of the day as voted on by viewers via phone or online. Not texting people. For those of you listening, you had to actually call in and wait. It aired on Monday through Thursday for an hour.
Did you ever call to vote on American Idol?
No, but I do remember calling a couple times for like little radio competitions and stuff.
Oh, I was gonna say what programs did you call in for in your lifetime? Have you ever called to vote on a reality competition program? Because I missed that era, TBQH.
I feel like I did for something like Food Network adjacent, but I can't remember for certain.
I called to vote on American Idol. I've called to vote on Dancing with the Stars. I've called to vote, I think, on The Voice. But I've never called a radio. That's scary.
Yeah, I called a couple times for radio, and I remember you'd get like you're number 16, and then you'd hang up and type it up really quick, and they'd be like,
yeah.
you're number 78, and you know that you have to be like 115, and so you like call manically one more time, and they're like, you're 175.
You're like,
damn it,
no.
I lost. But yeah, that's what this is riffing off of. I want to know how you're feeling about the season so far right now. I know we know the end game. But how do you feel about where things are at story-wise? Do you think it's emerged properly? Who's going to the end? Who is showing up? Because I feel like by now, in the regular mainline show, we can kind of get a sense of who is the final player. I think we
Yeah.
can tell that Jinx is, but I don't know if Monet and Trinity and Shay have necessarily emerged as the final 3. I feel like it comes across like it's going to be Raja and Viv.
I was about to say, well, in my scorecard, Raja's dog walking the girls.
Same.
Humst ever. Yeah, I mean, Jinx is definitely a clear front runner. Shay's, it's funny because Shay and Monet were in the top the first week, and you're like, oh, I see that for them. Like,
Yeah.
they're definitely going to be like front runners. And then they've kind of fallen in the back.
Yeah.
And then I mean, even if she hadn't had the win she had, like, as a viewer, I think with Raja, you're feeling like she's doing well, maybe even not getting rewarded, but
Yeah.
doing well. Jada's had a win already. She's keeping up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, Evie's a little behind right now, but,
Mm-hmm.
like, it feels like it's still anyone's game.
Yeah.
Because you also don't know when they are going to reward them. Like, for instance, like this week, I feel like they just chose this week to reward
Do story stuff.
a little bit.
Yeah, it feels very story heavy this week. And I feel like this is kind of the shift point in the competition for me. Because I thought, okay, Shay and Monet have it. This is time.
Yeah.
Also, our runway guest is Tuvelu.
My name's Tuvelu.
So there is a little reveal moment from last week because our winners got to choose people to give stars to. Raja gave an extra star to Evie, and Jinx gave her star to Jada because Jada lights up the room. I want to ask you to controversially determine who Evie might give one to, because I'm going to give the fake star probably. I mean, I would assume that because she's not going to give it to Evie because Evie is the top, I would assume that Raja would probably give a star to, like, I don't have anybody on my scorecard for Monet or Viv. I imagine that she'd pick Mona Astron. So I'm going to give her that one. And I feel like Evie might do the same thing, but, like, I don't know. I almost see her giving into, like, Shay. Because Shay's been pretty torn up about how she hasn't won anything since then, or hasn't even really been getting the best critiques.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know Viv doesn't have anything on my scorecard either, but I feel like she would be more likely to give it to Shay.
Yeah. So for me in my fantasy, Evie having just gotten her first badge, and in my scorecard, Jada also not having a badge. Evie and Jada are no badge besties up until this point. So Evie gives hers to Jaida. Jaida. And now, catch this tea. In my fantasy, because Jada is in this round, the only one without a badge, she also gets the badge from Raja.
Ooh.
Because picture this. Because of how I created the fantasy, because this is what happens with Evie.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but I feel like in this case, maybe what if they hadn't known what maybe in this case they do talk about it beforehand, but I feel like both of them are like, oh, well, Jada doesn't have a badge yet and she deserves it so fiercely. I think they both give Jada a badge and then she suddenly has 2 badges.
Ooh, that's so hot. And I mean, they didn't specify that they couldn't give it to the same person. They easily could have done so.
And I think if anyone deserves 2 badges in one episode, it's Jada.
Do you remember when, who was it, Chanel and was it Plastique gave them to each other and just boosted up their stars or something? Didn't they do that in 9?
Did they?
I feel
I'm
like they
honestly
did.
going to have to rewatch 9 when we get to it because it's a blur.
9 is a blur. I feel like they gave them to each other. Like they got an extra star to give out and they're like, well, let's just help each other out.
But girl, we got this.
Because I don't think they said they couldn't. So they have to do a TRL style girl group. And I feel like you live for Y2K realness.
I do.
I do. I was talking about this the other day. You're probably far too young to remember this. Maybe you have like little fever dreams if your parents even did this at all. I remember my dad packed up me and my brother at like 11:30 at night. And we had to drive to his work where they unplugged all of the computers from the internet right before midnight because there was that, like, the internet's going to get taken over by a giant virus and there will be no more internet at midnight of the year 2000. And I remember we had to, like, pull those out and my mom was somewhere else with friends and they were, like, pulling their computers out of the Ethernet.
Incredible.
Isn't it?
Incredible. I was about to say I wish I'd been alive. I was, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah, if any of our listeners at home dealt with this, I'm so curious.
As I will say, I don't trust people born after the year 2000.
That's so fair.
Like, I have this, I have a coworker who's 24.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you were born in 2001.
You're a baby.
Like, that's so weird to me. Like, I get that I'm born in the late 90s, but at least I was born in the 90s. Like, it's just weird to me, though. Like, you're born in the 2000s.
They're children to me.
People born after the 2000s, I just don't trust.
Yeah. They're like actual literal children.
Yeah, their brains aren't fully developed yet. It's still the size of a cantaloupe or whatever.
Your name is Snow. You're not even on the
the banks don't know who you are. You don't have a social security number.
They form up two groups on their own. They are not auto assigned, and Viv is steamed like a little bao bun, just like in her little bamboo basket, getting steamed from underneath and just getting constant pressure put on her. And she's like wearing her sunnies indoors, and she's like pissed off, like, I don't want to be in this group. I don't think it's fair that we're over here like the leftovers. And then she's like, actually, I'm okay with it. This is the group I wanted. I'm fine.
Who do you think she want? Do you think she wanted to be with like Shay?
I don't think she wanted to be in a group with Jinx. I think that's what the tea is.
Tea.
I think she was feeling embarrassed by opening up her mouth, because she even says, I don't know why I admitted that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think she's feeling embarrassed that she said it, and that came back to bite her in the butt, you know? And so I think she's like, I don't want to be near this girl because I feel tense and I don't want to say anything else stupid and then get in trouble again.
Yeah.
You know? But then also, like, the Sunnies indoors, it just makes me wonder, like, she was clearly pissed off. People don't wear Sunnies indoors unless they're mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did something happen on the bus there? Did something happen in production?
Well, and also with where her head's at, like, she is blocked. So even if she does win this week, she's not going to get
Exactly.
a badge. And, like, she could be feeling fatigue. There could be actual like frustrations with production, because it seems like there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
That we weren't privy to, and we never
will, since that reunion won't ever get shown.
Because we don't know what behind the scenes was being needed for these women, and they weren't getting.
Right.
And what they were advocating for themselves, or having to advocate for themselves when the cameras weren't rolling.
Right.
That affects their on-camera vibe.
Well, didn't they say in All Stars 9, like, some of those girls, there's like lawsuits going out because those girls were like peeing in bottles and stuff and just passing it off production because they weren't allowed to go to the bathroom. So they were like sneaking backstage and pissing in a bottle, you know, and capping it and then handing it to some PA. Like, here you go. Have fun. Messy. So we have our two groups. Titanic, the song, is going to be performed by Mr., which is Monet, Shay, Trinity, and Raja.
That's
such
a
a fun name. And then we have Together Forever, the song, performed by the other girls. Which are all the ones that were kicked out. And it made me think... We're always talking about Morning Musume, and none of our listeners know about this. Do you remember when it was Miki was kicked out because she had that boyfriend scandal?
Yeah.
They're all that.
Oh
They're all
God.
the girls who were kicked out for scandals.
The kicked out girls. I love it.
That's in my head.
Do you know what my opinion is? Together Forever, foundationally, is a better song.
Totally.
Than Titanic. Because it's more Y2K. It's immediately like super Backstreet Boys NSYNC-y. Super NSYNC sounding.
Yeah.
I think that worked in their favor hugely. But I think there are stronger songwriting moments happening on Titanic.
Yeah, I would agree. It's interesting too that they're both boy band sounding.
Yes, not girl group sounds.
Not girl group sounds. Because, I mean...
Why didn't we get, like, we could have gotten, like, a Destiny's Child.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
like, we could have done Girls Aloud. We could have done Spice Girls.
Totally Spice Girls.
We could have done Danny Kane if we want to be crazy. That's a little more
Crazy
late
Girls.
2000s. But I don't know. I just feel like...
Or even like, I don't know, 18's Jump 5 type vibes. Wow. You know what I mean?
TLC, co-ed.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of groups from back then. So I found it really interesting that it was very like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I do get Titanic. I get that in my head all the time where I don't really remember.
Do it.
All the girls say, welcome to the jungle. Monet and Shay are such slays. That moment where Shay says, "What's up, boo? Is your CD skipping?"
It's such cute, like, referential to the 2000s.
Uh-huh.
Like, it kind of sounds like it's in the moment, but it also is very clearly like looking back,
Yeah.
like catching all of those like turns of phrases
Mhm.
and terminology. It's some of the most clever of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you remember when Alyssa like hits the table and goes, "Oh, that's me with this." She like says, "What's up, boo? Is your CD skipping?" I'm like, "Oh, oh, that's it."
Wrapping the Snuggie around themselves. Isn't that the same challenge they have, the Snuggie
I think
challenge?
so.
Which is also just randomly one of my favorite mini challenges of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Diva.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So random.
Detox in the pink Snuggie, like just like laughing at her.
She's like, "Oh, I can't." I really thought that Raja was just like this poor old lady who was roped into this because she's like, "Doo Lucy Lou," and just like bubble gumming all over that stage.
It's giving.
Tell me.
It's another Hello Project reference. It's giving Yuko by the end when it's like all children and then her and she's having a Renai Revolution 21 do like dance moves with like 5-year-olds.
Do you remember? I think it was Aya. They made her have that one solo song and she's got all the like Barry's Kobo kids with her.
Hateful.
And they're all like 7 and 8 years old and she's fully like 22.
Well, and also like Raja, like she just does her long gray hair in silver, like doing herself no favors, like
so crazy. I really loved that group. And then of the other one, you already said it, but just like diarrhea, we exploded in love. One of the most psychotic lines that has ever been written.
It feels like, how do I say this? It felt like each group had like, well, the second group is all kind of, they were all funny, but it felt like each group had 2 like slayers and 2 kind of like stooges. Because I feel like Trinity and Raja were definitely the Titanic stooges.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't keep up with Shay and Monet.
Yeah.
They were on a different wavelength.
Totally.
And then like Viv obviously had like one of the hardest verses. And I think Jinx had a really good, strong performance in verse. And then we have Robot Evie and Shitty Jada.
I just know that Marina was somewhere out in España like, "Oh, my IBS sister is being represented right now."
Stinking up the room and we're having to look pretty.
With farts and diarrhea. Oh, it's so crazy. I really loved Evie being a robot. I thought it was nonsensical.
Yeah.
And like this whole thing is insane. I think visually the other group, I really do like them a lot because they've got a similar color storyline.
Yeah.
Where like you look at Titanic or Mister and like visually they're all really cool with the like the black and the gray. I really love them visually.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, this pink does something for me that feels so much more 90s girl group to me.
It's little Cheetah Girls.
Or not 90s, it's supposed to be
2000s.
2000s. Like it's that tail end of the 90s fashion that was still bleeding into the early 2000s. That was just so wild.
That's what the other girls are, the Cheetah Girls for women who tattoo on their eyebrows.
Oh, you know what? Willem just aggressively is like, "Let's take a break." I need that right now.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I think Mr. looks really cool, but they look late 2000s to me. They look very late 2000s. I get that.
But also, like, it's a bummer because their song feels less. I mean, it's 2000s, but like the other girls, like, also like the song itself nailed the vibe. And then like the costuming drove it home. So it just felt like the package, it all felt more 2000, like of the specific era they were trying to evoke than Titanic and Mr.
Yeah. I also find it interesting that they riffed off of Titanic because that dropped in 97.
Yeah, what's happening there?
I mean, maybe were there like no other movies at the time they could reference? Maybe they like
Shrek.
couldn't get licensed. Shrek? Yeah.
Shrek.
Somebody.
Shrek. Smash Mouth. Oh my god. Oh my god, they could have done Smash Mouth.
Could you imagine? Wait, would the other group have been Rascal Flats then?
Life is a highway. Oh no, mama. Oh no, mama.
Our runway theme is Night of 1,000 Dolly Partons.
My favorite Y2K artist.
Mine as well. I mean, she was in Hannah Montana. So, I mean, do you remember when she was in that like spandex bodysuit for the one when they're like doing a jailbreak or something? And they get the stunt double to do all the backflips.
Do the stunts.
With the padding and the breastplate and the wig.
Low-key like the cuntiest episode of that entire show.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
So ridiculous. Do you have standouts from this runway?
Good and bad, yes.
Okay.
Good.
Tell me the good first.
Favorite is probably Raja.
Yeah, she's so good.
I would say my favorite is Raja's. Also, she looks like she's having so much fun, and that brings me infinite joy.
It's a lot like the Vanna one. She just feels like she's celebrating this icon that she has reference for, you know?
My number 2 is actually Monet's.
I love Monet's.
I love the coat of colors.
It's so pretty. And the hair. I love, too, that this somehow feels very, like, celebratory black iconography.
Yes.
You know? The jewel tones pop so well on her. The way that she's even styled the hair so that it isn't just, like, Caucasian wig. And I love that. I feel like she's filtered Dolly through Monet. And she just looks really cool. And I love that she picked something that's kind of street. Because I think of Monet's drag as sort of being street, you know?
Yeah, so honestly, those are my 2.
It's a really big bummer that Shay kind of deviated so hard from the assignment. Because I think she could have won this week. But I don't even look at this and think Dolly. And I don't mind her picking something that is off the beaten track for Dolly. But that she did that and then also deviated so hard, you know?
Yeah, no, nor it's tea.
Viv looks great, but she's in blue again, which I thought she didn't wear.
It's not her color.
It's not her color.
She must be bullshitting. She must. But that also, like, how did you make your package and not? I mean, maybe she's like, that's my color. That's my Raja purple. That's my Vandy Milan orange.
It was a rebrand era. Who you said someone stood out for you negatively? Why was it Evie?
Oh, well, it was Shay actually, but it's also Evie.
I don't like it. And then she's like doing these silly things.
Okay,
again.
I'll say I don't like Evie's. I don't like Shay's. I actually don't really care for I don't love Jelly Jinx.
Oh.
Okay, no. Okay, I like the 2 I like, and then Viv's is strong.
Yeah.
I don't like anything else. Because even Trinity's is a good look, but it's not Dolly to me. She's giving like Texan, like businesswoman, like at the country club or something. Like, I don't know.
She looks like a rodeo mogul.
It's not giving rodeo
mogul in Vegas. Like,
what?
I could see this character at the rodeo in CSI. Like, she's the one who shows up and it's like, howdy, y'all, what's going on?
Kind of like AI Lana Del Rey B-side. Rodeo mogul. Rodeo mogul. Spin me round.
You just wrote a song for her.
That is crazy.
Is it not?
But not as crazy as Evie's actual runway performance. Giving the I'm gonna take you back to Espana 2.
Okay.
When Onyx does her talent show and then she gives birth to that little baby. That's Evie right now.
That's Evie right now.
She's like chomping. She's chomping. She's giving animatronic.
You're so right. Oh, I hide it. This is a really good time for me to admit, since we're talking about Dolly really quick, that I almost named myself in drag Jolene Cuisine.
Jolene Cuisine.
Jolene
Yes.
because of the song, Jolene, but then lean cuisine, like the meal. And my catchphrase was going to be, I'm not just a snack, I'm the whole meal. And Jake didn't let me.
You know, I played Jackbox with that name before,
Did
Jolene
you?
Cuisine.
It's
I
so
love it.
good.
I love it. I mean, I know you've had iterations. Yvonne DeCulo is still my favorite.
It's still really good. It's my favorite one as well. Okay, so what are we judging this challenge on? Are we judging it off of the challenge itself, where Shay and Monet, I think, were the clear winners? How much do we incorporate the runway, which is so disconnected from the challenge? Because, like you said, Dolly Parton, my favorite 2000s girl group. Does that just like finally nail it in? Because if it's the thing that nails it in, it nails it for me as Monet being the winner, and I'm solidly giving Monet that win
Yeah.
without any ifs, ands, or buts. Like Monet's got it for me. The other one I'm a little bit confusal-fied upon.
So, do you know what I'm going to say?
Hmm.
If you look at who actually won this week,
Hmm.
they do what I'm going to do, which is gives a win to someone who murders the Dolly Parton runway, which is Monet.
Yeah.
They still gave Evie that win, even though, whoa, I put Monet in the wrong week almost. They still gave Evie that win, even though she did a absolutely diabolical Dolly Parton runway.
Diabolical.
So to that point, I think she should have gotten chewed out for it, but I'm still going to give Shay the win.
Yeah.
And I think that they can say, like, this was a miss, but your performance was so strong.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think they did try to compliment Evie's for hers. And I'm like, see, listen, we can be real here. We don't need... If you're going to give Shay the win, you can still say, like, I don't think this is what we were looking for, but
Right.
the challenge was absolutely what we were looking for.
Right.
And Monet is like the only one for me, other than Raja, but Raja can't win her 4th badge already.
I mean, you could give it to her, but she did so bad in the challenge,
Yeah.
even if her runway was spectacular. Yeah, I mean, I think you've kind of helped tilt me in the direction that I wanted to go in, but I was hesitant to do it because, like, you know, the more I think about it, they were not really holding space for Shay's look, but they held space for Evie's.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
so it's like, listen, I don't think 2 wrongs make a right, but if y'all are going to be a little whack in this direction, for my fancy, you can be whack in this direction,
Right.
and we'll figure it out.
you can whack in the right direction.
So into whacking right now.
I'm so into whacking. Our top 2 are Viv and Evie, and they have to lip sync to Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That? I feel like, and we talked about this at the start of this particular episode, that this feels like a production day, totally from start to finish. I mean, Evie is struggling to get wins, and now she goes to top 2,
Yeah.
or to 2 wins in 1 week. And Viv can't win anything, but is she going to keep her feud going with Jinx? We'll see. And I feel like this was totally let's set up stories. Let's really lean in on this, because up until now, there hasn't really been a story.
Yeah.
The biggest story is the Twinners and how Viv and Jinx are now at each other's throats out of literally nowhere. You know? I also remember reading that, or hearing maybe from an interview, that Evie was very upset about having to impersonate 2 white women this season. I remember her talking about that.
Vanna and Dolly.
Yeah, that she was like, why do I have to do this?
Is that why she phoned it in so hard?
I think she said that's why she was so stupid. Because she was like, well, then if you're going to make me do these ladies I don't look like, then I'm going to do whatever I want.
I mean, that's kind of fierce and hilarious in its
Isn't
own
it?
way.
And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I thought that was important to mention, because I do think it is a little bit interesting that this is probably one of the most POC loaded casts, and they give them 2 white women to impersonate.
Yeah.
Viv wins, which I think she did great in the lip sync.
Yeah.
She chooses to block Jinx. What do you think about this?
I forgot about the Viv and what is that woman's name? Jinx.
Not you being Rue at DragCon. Jinx.
Seattle. The Viv and Seattle back and forth of it all.
Yeah.
Because they really were just back and forth in that plunger hard.
Really, though.
Pass around party plunger.
Um, yeah, I think this is an interesting moment for her because it, to me, as a viewer, almost makes me not like her very much. It's like, why aren't you thinking smart?
Do you know what it's giving?
Mm,
When everyone else is like died in Super Smash Bros. And there's those two that are like still fighting really hard, or you can't even get in like the fight with them.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're all there, you're at like Hyrule Temple, so it's a big map.
yeah.
These two are in the corner like duking it out, and so you can't even like get in the fight with them, and
Yeah.
they're going to be the last two fighting for like 15 minutes after everyone else is already like dead, going like to get a snack, put the controller down.
Kirby and Peach are down at that little bottom left corner.
Yeah,
Right
exactly.
where you bounce up and down.
They're those last two with one life left each,
Yeah.
just like duking it out in Smash Bros. After everyone else is like over it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like Link's just up in the top right, sitting on that platform that moves. Like, are we gonna be done soon?
They each have 50% of the board in Monopoly, and they're just waiting for the other to go bankrupt. Like,
Totally.
it's just giving like competitive siblings
At the
gaming.
highest level, the most competitive. And I feel like them zoning in on each other so hard makes them ignore the rest of the competition, which are slowly eking by them. Because if they were thinking strategically, they could have been blocking Trinity, they could have been blocking Monet.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't really work out to block Monet, but I mean, Trinity would have been great to have been blocking. She's doing really well, and she's sneaking by them as they're fighting. You know? In episode 7, Legendary Legend looks, the producers get their last laugh because Jinx is blocked, and it's a design challenge.
And it's a design challenge, mama.
You know that someone did that full Alyssa Edwards. They were like, oh, I can't. As soon as they saw that they blocked her. The challenge is to recreate one of Rue's classic looks using Pinterest. And Viv gets to choose first.
Pinterest.
And then everybody, that's how she says it, girl. Then everybody else gets to choose. First off, I want to talk to you about strategy. Because Evie brings this up. That they choose all the fashion girls to get their looks first.
Yeah.
But Evie mentions, why wouldn't you let some of the weaker designers go first? Because then they'll pick the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then the fashion girls are left with the stuff that nobody wants.
If it was me, you let
If it was me,
you let Jinx pick first because she's blocked.
Right.
So even if she has the best shit, it means nothing.
Right, because she's not going to do anything with it.
And then give it to let like Monet go next.
Yeah. And then Evie.
And then Viv. But even Evie, I would save. Although Evie is one of those tricky ones where it's like necessity is the mother of all invention, because like you could leave her with the worst shit and she'd probably do something really cool.
Yeah. I would have left like Jada and probably Trinity as last. I would have not let them have the fabric
Jada
they
and
wanted.
Trinity,
Yeah. I would have made sure that Monet and Jinx got first, so that the good shit was already off the dossier.
Yeah.
So these are the looks, and I want to know your thoughts on them. Just quick Tudor boots.
Yes.
Despy Awards. As a look to recreate into your vision.
That is the look.
That's the look.
That is the look.
But also LeMay is really hard to work with.
Yeah. When I think of RuPaul looks that I'd want to see recreated, it's that one and the season 7 ugliest dress.
Oh, that velvet with the painting on it.
Like if you gave them like velvet and then like purposeful like ugly fabrics
Yeah.
and then some like blacklight colored fabrics, I think that could be really fun.
I think it's like the season 6 or 5 promo where she's got that big purple and black tulle. That one is hot as well.
Yeah.
That one's really sexy. Season 8 promo. Season 8 will curl your hair.
Kind of iconic now.
Yeah, in its own way.
The little like baby doll moment.
Yeah.
She's fun.
Face Keenie. Booger boots down. Why did they choose
I'm
Face
thinking of
Keenie?
Diamante Mary Brown in her face Keenie.
Yes. Diamante represented.
The only face Keenie that matters.
The only winner, Diamante Mary Brown.
Yes.
Season 5 Sugar Ball.
Random but cute. Really
It was
cute.
really cute.
Really gorgeous. I think it's because you see that some of the ones where it's a random challenge, I feel like the shots of her in those dresses they use in a lot of promotional shots.
Totally.
Whether it be because of the guest judge that was there or
Mhm.
something. The shot where it's them standing like her, Michelle, etc. on the runway.
Yeah.
I feel like there are shots of her in those dresses that are like
Mhm.
very prevalent online.
Yeah. We have the 2000 VH1 Diana Ross tribute. I feel like she wore this gold dress. Was it like season 15 or something? Or was it All Stars 8? Because do you remember she like starts out on the runway and then she's got the full length gown. She reaches to the side on the second dun dun and pulls it off. And then she's in the slinky dress.
Probably because she's in her. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Because she's in her archive era.
Yeah. This is a great look.
Great look.
Hot.
Yeah, super fun. Super, super fun.
We've also got Supermodel of the World, a classic.
Iconic. Probably one of the ones I'd want the most, TBH. Because
Really?
it's like the colors mixed with the volume.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's hard to think of a different direction, but...
Those colors are hard to work with, but if you know what you're doing, you can do a lot of cool stuff with it.
And it's also like you have permission to go a different era than modern RuPaul, which is really exciting.
We have the most exciting one, and that's the Drag Race Down Under promo.
Now what was going on there?
What happened here?
Again, it's that look is the cover of
a lot of stuff.
Of like a remix album.
Yeah, one of them.
Or something. Again, it's one of those things where it's like they took a shit ton of headshots of her that day.
Yeah.
And
then, also Jinx got purple twice, which is kind of interesting.
That's
and then
hilarious.
The last one is Born Naked. I love this look.
That I'm just a little girl with a reality show.
Yes.
That promo is so fascinating.
I'm obsessed with the distressed nature of that like bodysuit because Ru doesn't do distressed. And that was such a departure from everything in the Ru aesthetic, but I'm obsessed with it.
The distressing with like the tall boot, the super high boot, and the pony.
And the nude illusion underneath too. Yes. I really love that gown. I liked Ru's nude illusion look for the promo of 7. Do you remember that like blue that she had?
Yes.
That hot like turquoise blue.
Hot turquoise.
So what would you have wanted to work with? I think you said Supermodel of the World.
I think my first choice would be Supermodel of the World Sugar Ball.
I would have probably wanted either Despy Awards or Born Naked because I just love distressed.
I think Born Naked would be super fun. I want to go with Despy Awards, but I think the same thing as you, the LeMay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the styling is not going to be as exquisite as hers.
Yeah. So this is what's going on in the episode. Jinx is panicking. And my favorite line is that she says, I'm going to go cry in the bathroom and then grab a non-specific energy drink and I'll be right back. And then screams off camera.
Even in meltdown mode, she's always on. She's always giving.
Trinity is helping literally everybody with their gourmands and then also making her own stuff.
While also making like this like atelier gown.
She's so unbothered as an entity. And I'm obsessed.
Truly.
Shall we look at these looks?
We shall.
I love doing these. So we'll just go down the list. We got Jaida.
Jesus.
The lines on this are quite impressive. I remember not loving it initially, like the first time this happened.
Oh,
and now
really?
that I've grown and I've become a better person of understanding fashion, I'm like, she really did that.
So, can I say?
Yeah.
This is my favorite look of the night.
It's so good.
It is, in my opinion, the strongest look of the night.
I would agree.
It's just so like, because to me, this is like the most drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most like glamour.
Yeah.
The hair, the body of it without the stole, even with the stole.
It's
the
crispy.
hips.
I'm already giving it to her. I'm not even like gonna wait because Jaida is my number one this week.
Jaida.
And I haven't given her any stars.
Yeah, so for me, other than the stars that she was given, which is hilarious because she was given 2, so now she has 3. But she's like a late bloomer this season, and I love that.
Yeah. And again, these lines are so clean. You can see everywhere where these sequins are. And that
Yeah.
is so difficult to get clean lines like that.
And also just like she looks so good. Like she's giving like mother.
Mm-hmm. Which is very Diana Ross.
Yes.
And I love that it looks like Diana and Rue.
Okay, that's the thing.
Mhm.
Is hers is fascinating because hers is a tribute to someone else
Yes.
by way of RuPaul.
Right.
And it's still giving RuPaul and Diana Ross. But I mean, if you do it right, what a sweet spot. She had the hardest because if she had flopped this and she had flopped RuPaul's Diana Ross,
Oh, it would have been over.
it would have been over. But the fact that she nailed it is just such a roaring success.
Yeah. Let's breeze by Jinx really quick. It's Saloon Girl. I don't know what's going on with the lip. The lip is so concerning.
It's like a
to me.
personification of season 1 of Down Under.
Yeah, it's a mess. Can I ask you, what is this ruby red jewelry with this? In what part of her brain did she pick that out and go, huh, ruby red?
Do you know what the
with
like
plum?
It's honestly like as a bust, like if you cut it like from the tool part up,
Sure.
it's giving those games, like those computer games where it's like a princess and you like can like scroll through the different hair, scroll through the different earrings, scroll through the different makeup.
Yeah.
And like there's kind of like matching sets, but she's mixing and matching.
You know what this is? It's literally a Dead by Daylight cosmetic set. Because like
Oh,
from
no.
here down, it's like rocker girl Kate Denson. And then from like the boobs, it's like Princess Kate Denson. And then this one is like Saloon Kate Denson. And then you just like mix and match your cosmetics.
my
Cosmetics. Your cosmetics to create just a monstrosity to confuse the killer. So that when you start doing pirouettes after you've done a gen, the killer's just confused and doesn't want to chase you. That's what this is giving.
This look is juking me.
It's it's juicing. It's looping. What do you think about Mona Extra?
It's like
I feel like I did drugs and then looked at this.
yeah, it's definitely drugs. It's definitely like if COVID-19 was like that little like DNA computer guy from Jurassic Park. Like if he was like if COVID-19 variants were like a quirky little like jazz character.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, like no, this is like if COVID-19 hosted Cabaret.
Oh my God. I see it. I almost said everything goes. Anything goes.
This is Omnicron's Cabaret.
This is so much. And then the print, I think, is where the problem started.
The print is giving I can smell color.
This is such a deep cut. Do you remember in season 2 when they had this like wig styling challenge and Rue was like, Jujubee, when did you lose control of this wig? And she says, when I got the wig. That was this. It was like, Monet, when did you lose control of this? When I got the dress.
So crazy.
It's
Also
crazy.
hilarious because it's like a look she was in the bottom for.
Yes.
So funny.
It's actually quite amusing that this is like, I think the only one that correlates to her season that she ended up getting, and a pivotal moment for her in the show as well.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
Say it.
Roger.
Roger.
In this Born Naked look.
I fucking love it.
I'm so obsessed with this. Distressed is so hard to create, one, and then to pull off and not look like you're just wearing heaps of garbage.
She's in my top 3 of the night for sure.
She is for me as well.
It's weirdly like Warrior.
Yeah.
It's giving like the post-apocalyptic like Warrior sequel
Totally.
to the RuPaul look, because she has the ponytail, but now it's like this weird like side ponytail. She's got this headband. She's got this like sash kind of armor thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's still got the boots, but they're pleather and they feel more structured, and like it's so interesting,
Isn't it?
Yes, I love it.
I'm obsessed with this
It's
look.
like a hot mess in the most like couture way.
Yeah. Another top look for me, Shea Coulee.
Really?
I really love this jet set look. The pants I'm kind of iffy about, but the pants are maybe not my most favorite thing. But it looks like a woman in like 1975 that is getting on her private jet to fly off to Europe for the weekend.
Yes.
You know? She in these like cunty little glasses, the way that she's got this like structural sleeve moment happening with that hand painting on it.
Yeah.
I love this look.
Do you know what would have done it for me? I don't know. I'm not educated enough to say what this is called. But take instead of pants, keep everything the same, but make it a skirt. But it's that skirt where it's like almost like a mermaid, but it ends like more like T length, where it's fitted and then it's got like a ruffly like kind of bunch to it, like towards the bottom.
What about like a fitted gaucho?
Okay,
would that be like too much though?
I honestly would love to. I would have taken a chap.
A chap would have been fun too, because I think this part is interesting.
Yeah,
it's when you scroll down towards the thighs,
and that just looks like leggings.
Yeah,
pink leggings.
I think if it had been like a pleated gaucho, maybe
pleated. Yeah, some pleats, or even more of like a cigarette leg.
Ooh, okay. Now hold on. If this were a cigarette skirt or a pencil skirt, maybe. Turn that into a pencil skirt, and then we're redesigning her outfit.
Period.
I think it's really cute from the waist up. I really do like the work that's in it, and I mean, I think the shoe choice is cute too. It's high for me. It really is. Viv kind of just recreated Despy Awards.
It's giving like Despy Awards via like barmaid.
Totally. She even kept the headpiece too.
Yeah.
It was giving, well, I made a mistake with who I blocked.
It's giving Despy Awards Descendants.
Descendants, the Disney thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. And I hate that.
It's very Descendants.
The shoes are fun. I don't think they match with this outfit. They look a little too dark. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels kind of low quality for Viv. I feel like she could have done more with this.
It's also weird not seeing her in blue. I'm like, who is this?
Right. I don't even recognize her out of blue. But you know who is in blue? Trinity.
Blue who?
Blue who? She's Trinity Blue who. She's in the top this week. And I think that it is very well designed. It is very well created. It is very well Trinity tailored.
Yeah.
And I love that sleeve. I'm not a huge fan of the hair choice.
Really?
Something kind of matronly about it in comparison to everything else, where it looks like sleek evening gown, and then the head looks like it was popped off a different cosmetic.
I would love a little bit more like a blonde Audrey Hepburn hair.
Ooh.
Like a breakfast at Tiffany's in blonde.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With the Tiffany blue. The hair is giving a little bit when Brooklyn does like Rocker. Brooklyn Heights.
I see it.
But I actually, now that you mention it, I don't love the wig, but
I'm incepting again.
But damn, no, I love how she accessorizes it. Because, okay, this is the thing is that, like, if a girl can make a mermaid gown, they probably will on the show because it is a really impressive dress. But like the way that hers is done, I love the like extra like floofs of tulle on the gloves. Well, I love the glove, first of all.
The gloves are hot.
I love a mermaid gown with a glove.
Yeah.
That is divine to me.
And there's like tears on this mermaid as well.
Yeah. And like if you zoom in, like there's like a belt piece. So there's like a waistband piece and then the bustier she made with the neckline, which ties into a bow in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And then, she has it stoned down the front, but it's also like rouged along the stoning. I can't tell. So, yeah, she had to like stone it along the rouging, which is crazy.
She works insanely fast.
Yeah, but then also like the layers of the mermaid, because it's not just one big like floof. It's like a multi-layered like quilt where it kind of like washes out. Yeah, because it's not a straight like cone. It almost like does kind of like flow out like water. Yeah. And that cunty little like bow on her waist too. That, it's like really that cute. Hard like pleather bow or whatever that is. I dig the styling.
Yeah, I think it's really pretty. You might be leaning me in the direction of picking Trinity. I haven't decided yet.
Oh yeah, I know, because we're very close to getting there, but I
Evie,
feel
I'm
that.
not really feeling very much.
Evie, I feel like kind of could have done more with such fun colors and silhouettes and ideas.
Yeah,
Because like Supermodel is all about like she's like throwing that tool around and she's walking and she's jumping and it's very like celebratory and like be seen.
yeah.
And this is very like modern Supermodel. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I wish that there had been more flow and movement to it, because usually Evie's looks have a lot of movement to her,
Totally.
because she's so movement based.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't love it. This feels like something I could have seen from her on season 11.
Totally. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. So time to give out our second star because I think we both gave one to Jada.
I know.
Right?
And so I don't know if you relate, but for me, I'm back and forth between Raja and Trinity.
That's where I'm at too. But I really love Shay. I know it's like I'm a crazy girl for that. I think because of the pants, I think I've convinced myself after talking about it. I don't think I can give it to her. So yeah, it's between Raja and Trinity right now. I want to give it to Trinity because it's so impressive, but I
Yeah.
also feel the same way about Raja.
I know. I still feel like I've only given Trinity one win this season. She's not really on my radar much. So for me, I am going to reward her in this moment, even though I don't like her antics in the lip sync upcoming. I will choose to ignore it. And I'm going to be by the books again this episode. Because, like, yes, Raja could have gotten a win this episode, but if she was going to get a win for a sewing challenge, she should have gotten a win for the first sewing challenge.
Totally.
More so than this one.
I really like Trinity's interpretation of the baby doll dress and changing the silhouette a bit.
Yeah.
I can't get that distressed look out of my brain, and I'm giving it to Raja.
Period.
I'm doing it. Raja, I know you're listening. I'm such a fan. Our top two are Jada and Trinity. They lip sync to I Want Love by Jessie J.
I want love.
This is a great song. But Jada was kind of bubblegumming through a lot of the words. I don't think she knew a lot of them.
Watermelon cantaloupe.
Shamalama Bing Bong. Trinity was throwing her ass everywhere. It was like the one against Charlie. It was like she was going so hard
Ass
for no
ever
reason.
Throwing ass, eating Jada's ass.
Didn't she like slide in and like
She like slides
Slides
into
into her
her
butt?
puss.
yeah, and like
Slid into her
it?
butt. Did she like slide into her butt?
Trinity wins and chooses to block Evie. Interesting and odd choice.
Oddly choice.
I know she wasn't going to block Monet because they have a pact.
Yeah.
And she felt bad for Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx and Viv obviously have their thing. But then
I don't know if I
like,
would have blocked Evie.
right?
I would have blocked maybe Raja.
Right. Which like would have actually been smart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So let's get into this last one.
Oh,
We've got
yes.
Santa School for Girls. Everybody's feeling pressure because there's not a lot of episodes left. And they're feeling like they got to really start kicking it into overdrive. Rue tells them that the challenge is an acting challenge, which is Santa School for Girls, which is part Christmas, part Halloween, part Mean Girls. And I feel like Rue is so hesitant to be like, it's Christmas as Scream Queens, but in Mean Girls. Because this is totally Scream Queens. Like
yeah.
100%. And it's a really fun challenge.
It is. It's pretty fun.
I want to know if you think that, because this is my opinion, and you feel free to disagree. At this point, Monet and Trinity are really like leaning in on their alliance thing
Yeah.
to the point where they're like, we're not going to harm each other at all. And I wonder if this almost like hurts Trinity because Jinx and Monet want the same role. And Trinity's like, I'm going to give it to Monet because of their alliance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did this make production go, you know what? Fuck this little fake bitch over here.
Yeah, we can't be having this now.
We're putting it on a note and sticking it up on the wall.
Yeah.
But you put it at your station.
Yeah. Why say fuck that shady bitch Shangela and it has my name crossed out?
In the challenge, I loved Raja as this little goth girl. I was giving my boyfriend a frosty.
It's like goth, but also so like showing to the camera
Yeah.
and like so animated is so fascinating.
Yeah.
I feel like Monet is like an unsung hero of this challenge. I thought
She
she
was
was
really
so
fun.
hilarious.
Jinx was really funny too. I loved her stupid like millennial voice that she was doing.
And then at one point she like does that thing where she like speaks like this and she like it's like that like inhaling voice. I was like, what are you doing? What is this?
After the challenge, Jada's like, so everyone, you don't have to block me anymore because I am pretty much going to the finale because I have so many stars. So I'm going to win like at the end. So you don't have to because mathematically. But also, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, that makes sense. If there's only 3 competitive episodes left and everybody's at the placements they're at, Jada's pretty much locked in for the finale.
No,
at
she's
point.
actually spilling and she's right. And she's like, you need to be concerned with the people who are level with you.
Yeah.
You need to keep them behind so that you can get ahead.
Right.
Don't try to bring me down to where y'all are at. Keep everyone else where they are and you get ahead.
Right.
That's the name of the game.
And I like not accounting for the triple star that was going to come down the road, which she wasn't anticipating. She like is spilling here. This is very accurate math, and I think they should have listened to her but didn't.
Yeah.
The runway category is Nitty Nitty Bang Bang. I've never seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
It's
a
weird.
musical, right?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. It's like it's strange. It's kind of a fever dream. It's like you had to be there. You had to see it as a kid because if you watch it as an adult, you're like, what?
What is this? What are your standouts, or who are your standouts from Nitty Nitty Bang Bang?
Raja.
I love
Raja.
It's like that C3PO look from season 3.
Yes, the evolution. And it's knit.
It's so hot. The cuffs.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off with those cuffs. And that the way that this like headpiece blends into the hair, sort of scoops it up and holds it back. Plus seeing Raja in a natural human hair color where she's normally in grays and silvers. Seeing her in this like bright red on her skin and her complexion just glows with that red.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks so hot.
Yeah. For me, top 3 of looks is Raja for the slay. Vivian for the really like hit the nail on the head, like knit. This is a knit look.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that.
I love the needles in the hair too.
And then freaking Evie. I love Evie's interpretation. So it's so her. Yeah. That's what I love about it.
And the ombre too is quite impressive, isn't it?
It really is. And I feel like that yellow orange, like kind of autumny ombre, I feel like I associate that with her because also very much her color palette for the Farm to Runway sewing challenge.
I want to say I do feel really bad for Shay having to play the straight man again. She's getting such a bum role this season. She keeps getting these straight men in all these challenges.
No one wants the straight man.
No one wants the straight man. And then I think the only other thing I wanted to say about the challenge for anyone that I know y'all were not a Nickelodeon house. That's what Jake says all the time.
Yeah, we weren't really.
We were. There's this character from the Amanda Show who says, I like eggs. And her name is Debbie. And in the challenge, Trinity goes, I like nog egg. And it was literally Debbie from the girls' room in the Amanda Show.
That's crazy. Not the Amanda Show reference.
The Amanda Show reference. A mandatory reference show.
Amanda? Oh.
A mandatory reference Bruegel. And this is also the week where Rue breaks because when they all come in, she's like, welcome back, welcome back, ladies.
What is she's malfunctioning. She's short-circuiting.
She's Evie Onlying. It's time to give out our stars based off the challenge and the runway. Who you giving them to?
Ooh. Okay. Ooh.
Raja is number 1 for me because that goth girl was so good. And then I was giving my boyfriend a frosty. I don't know why that just tickled me pink.
It did what needed to be done for you.
It did. And then that C3PO look. God, so good.
I'm struggling.
I am too.
because I go between the two who are already named, Raja and Viv,
Mm-hmm.
but then I also really want to reward Monet.
Mm.
I really liked Monet's. I didn't really care for her runway.
Yeah, that's a
And so
thing.
maybe that's why I'm not going to give it to her, because I really liked her challenge, but
I really like Jinx, but I think her runway is kind of boring.
yeah, I don't really see, I'm not really featuring Jinx's runway.
And it looks more like fishnet, like
yeah.
fishing line net. I have not given Viv a single win this entire season.
You
I
haven't.
haven't given her one.
That's crazy.
I
I'm
know.
definitely giving her one of mine this week.
I think I have to be nice to Viv. I think I have to. Because I mean, the please Noel. It was so funny.
And I mean, her banter with RuPaul.
It really was good. You can tell how much. I think you mentioned it. She's got this connection with Rue that a lot of the other girls do not have.
Yeah.
But at all. And I mean, I haven't given her anything, so I'm gonna give her this one because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give her anything else in the rest of the season. So this may be the only time I can do it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna be boring, but it's to be nice.
I try to make it nice. Do you know what's crazy?
Huh.
I'm going to give it to Monet.
Oh my God. Even though you didn't like her runway?
Even though I didn't like her runway, I liked her performance. And Raja has 3. Monet has 2. We'll see when we actually get there, because that's going to be one of the last groups of stars we give out.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I have to rewatch it. I think I'm going to give it to Monet and Raja. Spoilers.
Oh.
And so I kind of want to have them equal.
Yeah.
I'm playing producer as I'm giving these stars out.
You're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, Raja really did kill that talent show for me. I still am upset she didn't win that.
Yeah.
They wanted her to have, she done had hers is. So who's leading the pack for you as of right now before we finish this? Because right now, Raja's got 5 stars on my scorecard.
Oh my God. See, for me right now, it's a tie between Raja and Monet. Raja and Monet. Actually, no, it's a 3-way tie.
Okay.
Raja, Monet, and Jada Essence All. Jada Essence All.
Jada Essence All.
The H is silent. Jada Essence All have 3 stars.
Okay.
Jinx, Trinity, Shay, and Viv all have 2 stars. So it's a 3-way tie and then a 3-way second place tie.
My second place is Shay with 2 that she's won, and then the complimentary star that she got in 5. And then we've got Jinx, Monet, and Trinity all tied with 2.
Wow.
Oh, and Evie.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the next segment is, and I'm so curious what'll happen. Our top 2 officially are Viv and Roger. They lip sync to Super Freak by Rick James.
Iconic.
So iconic.
The part where it cuts to the queens and Monet's like, wait, Raja's killing it.
Yes, she really was, because I think after that last one, I was like, poor Roger just cannot keep up with these girls at all. Yeah. And then Super Freak came on and she was like doing that weird like wiggling.
It's giving those like when a video surfaces of like a celebrity that you don't see much, like Anne Hathaway lip syncing to I Don't Care by Charlie XCX and Iconopop, and it's like her and some girlfriends like in the club,
right?
And she's like dancing on a table. Like it's giving very that. It's giving drunk like celebrity you love.
You know what I just saw? I don't know if I have it anywhere. Maybe I do, and I'll look really quick. I saw a video pop up, I think it was on TikTok, of Kennedy Davenport at like 23 years old.
Whoa.
Bucking and twirling on. She is like whipping around a ponytail and doing all of her Kennedy moves. She's like an infant.
Baby
bucking.
Kennedy.
And I'm like, you can totally 100% tell that this is Kennedy Davenport. And I was obsessed. I don't know if I saved it at all. I really should have, so I could just show it to you. But yeah, I'm like, damn, Kennedy really has been that girl as long as she's been performing.
Been that bitch, still that bitch, forever will be that bitch.
She always will be. No, I don't think I saved it anywhere, which is so sad. Yeah, do I have it? What is this? Oh no, it's somebody else.
What is this? What is this? What's happening? What's
I
happening?
got so excited. I do have to show you this, I think. Later. Raja wins the lip sync, which was so correct. She chooses to block Jada because of what Jada said probably in the workroom earlier.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think that she should have blocked like Monet or Trinity. Oh, yes. Or honestly, I would have even looked at Jinx.
Yeah, well, because at that point, Monet had just done good. It's been a minute since Trinity's gotten a win, and she won the ball, but you know how Trinity is. I feel like you got to watch out for her.
Totally.
And but to Jada's point, those are the smarter people, because someone like Trinity, she's got her two badges already. You don't want her to pull forward.
And get a third.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if she wins this week, you can keep her equal with y'all while you try to get ahead.
Any hot takes or controversial opinions for this stretch of episodes?
I feel like something nice about this season is because we're not trying to justify eliminations or make you feel certain ways about like the competitive progression of the season in the same way. It's more sympathetic because you're like, oh, I want this person to get rewarded. I want this person to have their moment in the sun. Not like, oh, this person needs to go home already.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we have like a better perception, and that applies to the editing as well. Is like, there are obviously moments where like, that one was kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only spicy thing is like, I think some of the judging for the girl groups were really whack.
Yeah.
But that's also like because of the distribution of like the songs and everything. But for the most part, I feel like because of the format, it lends itself to everyone being able to praise the girlies for what they're doing a bit more freely. And I enjoy that. So there's not as much like, oh, I wish XYZ had happened, because usually things fare out in a pretty tolerable way.
I would agree with that. I think everything up until, I think my only controversial opinion is, I think up until the midway point, like episode 6, everything felt kind of judicial. Everything felt a little fair.
Yeah.
And then right at that episode 6, it felt like production was really like, all right, we have to lean in on our story now. Now is where we're really got to figure out who's endgame player and how are we going to figure out how to make that happen. You know what I mean? Because everything just feels like there's a huge production shift in that episode in particular, where it really wasn't feeling like that the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
It was sort of like everybody was really excited to be there and to judge the drag and to see the queens in their elevated forms. And then all of a sudden we get this huge shift.
No, I see what you mean.
Even going into the next part, which I have vague recollections of these last 4 episodes, so I'm excited to rewatch them again.
Yeah,
I
make
remember
it fresh.
like some of them ending and walking away from the episode like, what did I just see? Like when Jinx did the peanut butter TikTok video, and I'm like, that was so funny, but what did I just watch?
But what just happened?
What was that? Because I remember a lot of the girls do well. I do feel like that's next episode, right?
Which one?
The TikTok video?
The dancing, yes, that is next.
Because what's left? The finale, the talent show, Dance Like a Drag Queen. I don't remember what episode order that's in. And there's one more. And I don't remember what it is.
There's one between the dancing and the talent show.
It's that comedy challenge, the Kennedy Davenport Center for drag queens who are trying to give back.
Yes.
It was like a long ass title. Yeah, there's a roast one that's coming up next. Like a roast comedy. And then Dance Like a Drag Queen. And I remember walking away from both of those like, what did I perceive just now?
What just happened?
That's how I felt initially. So I'm excited to go back and look on them again.
Yeah.
But thank you all for listening. We will complete and conclude Drag Race All-Star 7 next week. Wait.
Ooh.
Wait. I forgot. Oh my God. I had one thing.
Give it.
I have a listener question from last week.
Period. We love listener questions.
Do. If eliminations were part of this season, who would have gone home first? This is from 89 Jaguar.
Damn.
Okay. So I was thinking about this and it got my brain twirling. If there were eliminations, I feel like it would be half non-elim, half a limb, because otherwise it'd be a 6 episode season.
Yeah.
So it would be like Rush to Get Stars, some type of lip sync Lollapalooza, maybe like a la season 4, whoever's the top 2 star holders are immune from lip syncing.
Yeah.
And then everyone lip syncs from there. I feel like it would have been, just based off of this group, I think it would have been, if the challenge order is exactly as it shows up now, I think Jinx probably would have gone home because I don't think she'd survive a lip sync. However, if there were lip syncs, or if there were eliminations, I feel like they would have front loaded things that would have harmed her early. And I think maybe she would be high to have like a lot of stars. And then I think maybe Viv would have gone home first.
Damn.
Because I don't see Viv surviving a lip sync against any of these other girls if it was traditional lip sync for your life. But if it was the queen's choosing, if the first couple episodes happened as they did, and then they did some type of lip sync situation where they're eliminating at that point, Jinx has her feud with Viv and would probably send her home, and producers would capitalize on that.
I actually kind of see what you mean. I would probably, if it was judged traditionally, make Jinx and Viv the bottom 2 with Trinity low.
Oh, for the first elim.
First elim. That would have been at least my bottom 3. And I probably would have made Trinity high safe.
Just to see what would happen.
Yes.
Because it really depends on if it's lip sync for your life or lip sync for your legacy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be one of the two of them that would be first out. Jinx for being a target, or losing a lip sync, or Viv for being Jinx's object of obsession.
At the time, they probably would have sent the Viv packing so that they can preserve what they had going for Jinx.
Probably. Yeah, would really depend on how the season was laid out.
That would have been so sad.
Wouldn't it?
Because we would have lost out so much.
Imagine being the first to go home in an all winners. That just is awful. But yeah, thank you all for listening. We will chat with you next week for the final part. Remember, you're doing a great job. You're doing the best you can, and that is all you can do. Goodbye.
Bye.